Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Sever7, and today I want to tackle the topic of missing out on a grail and FOMO. So the reason I want to tackle this is because it's something that everyone goes through and everyone knows about it. I just don't see many people talk about it. And whenever you feel like you're going to miss out on, a grail, it sucks. So, I wanted to offer a little bit of advice, just to see if it gives you a little bit of peace of mind. So the knife that I'm using as an example is the Cass brand Neutron Star. This was a small batch release, and it was sold through Get Good Screw. Those guys are awesome. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. But this knife was sold out before I even knew it existed. And whenever I saw it, I saw this blade shape and I was like, oh my God. And then I saw kind of this hardware-less design and I was like, oh my God. And then with the, I believe, zirconium pivot, and then the Damascus spacers, not spacers, I'm stupid, the Damascus pivot collars, and then the pocket clip. At the time, this was probably 2 years ago, I was really just new to everything, and I saw this and I was like, this has everything I want. And don't get me wrong, I still absolutely love this knife, but whenever I found out it was sold out, I was super bummed. And and people talked about the secondary market and stuff like that, and I'm like, it was small batch, what are the chances, blah blah blah. And turns out the chances are pretty freaking good. You have places like Knife Swap on Reddit. You have Love Them Knives, who sells, it's like a what do they call it, a consignment, where people sell their knives through websites. You have Blade Binge, where they do the same thing. And I have seen, and keep in mind, I'm using this as an example, not only because this was one that I was in a scenario with, like where I had to try to find it after the fact, but also because this was a lot more limited than most knives. Like this was a super, super small batch. And, I'd reached out to Get Good Screw, I'd reached out to the maker, and I got the same answer from everybody. Like, it's not coming back. It's gone. It's done, right? It ran its course. And I was just like, there's no way. Like, I'm never going to find one. And if I do, it might not even be the version that I want. Because they had some weird anno ones with like waves and stuff on them. And I like the more minimalist, simple approach. Sure enough, though, it took about 6 months, and one kind of fell into my lap, and I was able to pick it up. And I wasn't particularly looking for it like a hawk, but it popped up on Knife Swap on Reddit, and I was like, holy cow, I was actually able to get it. And not only was I able to get it, but I was able to get two. This is the one I originally got off Knife Swap. This is the one that I picked up just a couple weeks ago. And I loved it enough that I wanted two of them. But I'm showing the second one to you also to just say that the opportunity to get that knife, no matter how rare you think it is or how hard you think it is to get, that opportunity is going to come as long as you kind of keep an eye out for it, right? Now, if you forget the knife exists, which happens sometimes, then yeah, you're probably not going to find it again because you're not looking for it. But, this knife really always kind of stuck in the back of my mind. I was always keeping an eye out for it. And, kind of what the experience taught me was, even if it's going to be a hard to find knife, even if it's something that like FOMO is telling me you'll never get another chance, in reality you will. The secondary market exists. Rare things pop up all the time. right? If you just check the websites every now and again, type your knife into the search bar, right? You check Reddit, every now and again, you can type your knife into the search bar. You can see who sold it or who's selling it. You can even see who bought it and make them an offer, right? That's worked out for me plenty. And I know people that aren't on Reddit say, oh, well, it's not trustworthy. It's trustworthy. I mean, they have a whole scoring system. They track everything. I've got over 100 successful knife transactions. I had one where it got lost in the mail, like where I mailed it out and it didn't make it to the person, and that sucked. But outside of that one instance, which is on USPS, over 100 good transactions, and everyone's got like their grade. It says like this person has like 110 successful swaps, or this person has 30 successful swaps. So it's not like you're just going out there hoping for the best. You go in there and the community in Knife Swap is really good. It's a good representation of the knife community. People are honest, they're open, they're trustworthy. So, if you've been hesitant about that, I would say go ahead and, even if you don't swap anything, just go over there, peek at the listings, take a look at stuff, right? Kind of see how people interact. And just don't believe all the horror stories. Yeah, you want to be cautious, whenever you do any sort of transaction online, but, they even make newer people use PayPal goods and services, because that offers the buyer some level of protection, which I think is pretty cool. And then, obviously, this wasn't the only time this happened to me. There was another knife. It was the Gen X Primark, also exclusively sold through Get Good Screw, also a very limited production. It's a Chinese mid-tech, and I did not at the time have the funds available to pick one up. And I was like, great, here we go. This thing's gonna go, right? There's so few of them that even if they do pop up on the secondary, I'm not gonna be the one that sees them. Well, clearly I made space, so I'm sure this is the Gen X Primark. This is the knife that I was FOMOing about a year ago. And I was able to pick this one up about a month ago. And I was certain I would never see this knife again. But just like with this knife, not only did I find one, but I found two. The second one is on its way to me. And I know, it's weird that I double dip in knives. I don't know why I started doing that, but I did. So, I don't know why. But yes, this really just goes to show you that even if the knife is limited, even if it's rare, even if your brain's telling you that you will never, ever, ever get another chance to buy it, that's not true. The secondary market exists. And somebody who has the knife that you love will get sick of it and will go to sell it because they have some new knife that they fell in love with and they want to go buy it. And to buy it, they have to sell the knife that you're in love with. Even the rarest of knives. I'm talking like Scott Cook Loxa, which is crazy rare. I've even seen that pop up on the secondary. There's no knife that is safe from the secondary. They will all end up there. So, that's really all I have. I just wanted to say, there's a lot of knives dropping all the time. You're not going to be able to get all of them. And FOMO can kick the crap out of you if you let it. But just remind yourself, every knife makes it to the secondary. Not every individual knife, but every make, model, they all eventually make it to the secondary. People's grails today are going to be their, sellers, next month or in a few months or in a year, right? So I'll link Knife Swap Reddit. I'll link Blade Binge, and I'll link Love Them Knives. There's more programs out there. You can go to eBay. Normally they're marked up like crazy, but I did find some of these on eBay. I wasn't willing to pay the outrageous price for it. I got this one for $175, and the actual retail was $350, and I got this one for $225. It was the same retail. People on eBay wanted like $500, $600 for it. Psychos. So, but yeah, I'll link those things down below. Next time you get some FOMO, just take a breath. It's gonna be okay. And if you truly want that knife, you'll get it. Just keep an eye out. All right, that's all I have. If you like the video, hit the like button. Please subscribe if you like the content. My Instagram is going to be linked in the description along with my TikTok. So if you like knives and you like the way I sound, then please follow, and until next time.